Another day and yet another new yearly high that has been printed on the Bitcoin chart. As Moonboys worldwide jump for joy at the realization that they were indeed 100% correct. And the schniveling, whiny little bear boys were absolutely wrong once again. But the reason that this is way bigger than you might think is absolutely shocking and insane. As of the last few hours, Bitcoin has once again set a new yearly high and had its first little touch right around the $40,000 price target for the first time in a very, very long time. And I want to share a message for everybody out there watching this video. It doesn't matter how bullish you are, how bearish you are, only one thing is certain. You're not bullish enough, and in fact, you literally don't have the ability to be as bullish as you should be because of what's coming. So one of the first things I want to talk about in this video is that clearly prices are up, but I want to talk about the idea that for the first time in history, we are entering a bull market. We're still multiple months away from the Bitcoin halving, which traditionally the real busts, the giga busts, have always started after the halving. And for the first time in history, we are seeing the possibility of trillions of dollars of institutional interest and inflows into obtaining this asset. So is it crazy to think, because people always say, hey, you can't look at the past and then determine exactly what's going to happen, right? You can't just look at the past and, and then speculate where Bitcoin will go. I agree. So with that being said, people always use that, though, to say, well, things just can't be as bullish as they were in the past. I'm here to tell you they could be way, way, way more bullish for the reasons that I just stated. So we shouldn't be surprised, maybe, for the first time in history, what if we set a new all-time high before the halving? Okay? And there's an actual fundamental reason why this is possible because of all this institutional, for the first time in history, interest. At Bitcoin's all-time high, I believe it was around $1 trillion in market cap. The entire crypto market cap as a whole, the most it was ever valued, was around $3 trillion US. If you really take into account what value Bitcoin and the entire crypto space could be, those numbers are literal baby numbers. Those are numbers for babies, okay? $3 trillion, okay? Those are numbers for babies. And I don't know about you, but I'm not a baby. At least I don't think. Are you a baby? I hope not, because you shouldn't be watching this channel if you're a baby. Anyway, the point being, absolutely gigantic. And I think that's something that even myself, I don't really think about as a super realistic thing sometimes. But if you really think about it, because we have had to brush through so much negativity and pessimism over the last year about Bitcoin price. Here we are, though. This is reality. And the reality is, I don't think you are bullish enough. Also, $500 million in Bitcoin shorts just got completely annihilated, obliterated, destroyed. For, as Byzantine General says, for God knows how many time, because we keep seeing this. So many shorts keep piling on after every $1,000 pump, and then they get destroyed. He says, congrats for listening to people like Capo all year, because it's not good advice to be listening to people that can't change with the trend, right? That are very stubborn. And here we sit. Bitcoin is, I think, and I've seen more and more people talk about this over the past day or two. I agree. I think we could see a very big blow off, bust off, God candle parabola for Bitcoin's price before this momentum actually stops. Because keep in mind, as I think it's important to be very bullish, but I also think it's important to be a little realistic in certain regards. I think we will get a pullback at some point. However, I think that we're going to see, it's very likely now, I think we're going to see a blow off or just a very big, how do I say this? We could see massive, massive pumpy before we get any sort of substantial dumpy. Now, it is weekend trading, so I can't look at the stock market. I can't look at things that I usually do like to factor into analysis. Some people will even go out on a limb and say, hey, you can't really see new all-time highs or yearly highs or any substantial price action on weekends. And they think price action on weekends is irrelevant. I don't love price action on weekends. I prefer when all the markets are open and it's normal trading hours. However, guys, I mean, this, if anything, just shows us where Bitcoin truly is at. The real value of Bitcoin, At $40,000, Bitcoin is extremely undervalued in my opinion. It is so undervalued that it honestly makes me almost tear up. I almost want to shrivel up in a little ball and cry because people don't realize how undervalued a $40,000 Bitcoin is. You might be watching this thinking, oh, he just wants the price to go up and all of this. Guys, I'm all in on Bitcoin and crypto for a reason, okay? There's a real problem on this planet that needs solving, and crypto doesn't solve everything, okay? Absolutely not. Bitcoin doesn't solve every problem. But if you spend 5 minutes understanding what it does, if you actually have a kindergarten level understanding of monetary policy and of Bitcoin in general, then you would be investing in Bitcoin, okay? The only people that don't are the people that simply do not understand it, okay? And I will say that for the rest of my life. I genuinely believe that more than anything in the world. These people are just so out of touch. Now, if we actually look at Bitcoin's charts, though, what is going on? So looking at the entire cryptocurrency market, here we are continuing to squeak out new highs. If we go to a daily chart, we can actually see, yes, this is the highest valuation the entire cryptocurrency market has been since going back to May 2022. This is very big. This is a very big level. This is pretty substantial, 1.45 trillion US dollars in the entire cryptocurrency market. You can see setting yet another yearly high. We talked about this ascending triangle recently. This breakout target could put us above 41,000 or 40 to 41,000 US dollars. I'm not convinced at all this breakout is done yet. We've been continuing to climb. A lot of these charts now are starting to get outdated because we've started breaking out, except this one. Ethereum, I think, has, a lot of juice left. And for all the people watching that are invested in altcoins, this is a chart you absolutely need to watch. Ethereum, the number one altcoin. This breakout for Ethereum, I think, is just getting started. Over the next few months, I think Ethereum is going to be so much more valuable than it is currently. And Bitcoin is most impressively, in my opinion, breaking up out of this trend line that has been resistance ever since October 23rd. When we got back to it, this is very big, promising for Bitcoin. We're seeing moving average after moving average cross, bullishness after bullishness. This breakout continues out of this 2-year-long falling wedge. It took a while, but this is still continuing. We look at this chart. This golden cross is huge. Okay, look at this chart for Bitcoin, honestly. I mean, even just looking at the weekly chart, this is beautiful, right? This is bullish. You might be thinking, well, we're getting pretty oversold. Guys, 2 years in a very dumpy bear market, considering also the fundamentals. During the bear market, there were a lot of fundamentals against Bitcoin and against crypto and against the idea that we would have any pumping. Over the last 2 years, though, it has played out, and Bitcoin did get dumped on, and the fundamentals were bad in terms of reasons for Bitcoin pumping in that time frame. Now the fundamentals could not be stronger. Okay, you have to think about this. I want to keep saying this. A couple of months from the halving, literally maybe a month from the first ever Bitcoin spot approvals in history, I think people are drastically underestimating how big these spot ETF approvals will be. A lot of people are saying it's a sell the news event, and yeah, I think it could, dump when, let's say, the spot ETFs get approved. It could dump that day. It's going to take, the day that the spot ETF get approved, Bitcoin isn't going to be trading. It takes time for those spot ETFs to actually roll out. So the day that they're approved is not the day that all the money just immediately flows into Bitcoin. So there is going to be time in between that. And maybe that's a sell the news event. Who cares? Okay. Short term, could the price dump? Sure. Who cares? Unless you're day trading only, it's really so insignificant. But in general, the amount of actual capital from people that do not like investing in the traditional way that Bitcoiners invest, in terms of going onto a cryptocurrency exchange and buying a couple Bitcoin or buying this and that, that's not how these people invest, right? Traditional financial, the people that are going to be coming in are drastically different than your average moon boys. And this is different money. This is new money. And I just think that the amount of it that is going to be coming in, man, I just think, guys, I keep saying this. We're not bullish enough. I'm not bullish enough. You're not bullish enough. We really don't know what's going to happen. But the only thing I do know is that we're not bullish enough. And if you guys are interested in trading, make sure to take advantage of massive sign up and deposit bonuses with Femex or BitGet. It takes 30 seconds to sign up. If you're also interested in getting some crazy altcoins, they're also available using the exchanges below, Femex or BitGet in the description. Without any further ado, that's it for me.